My child, please, do not scroll past this moment. I need you to stop right where you are and take a deep breath. Quiet the noise around you and listen closely, because this message is not finding you by accident. You were meant to hear this right now. There is a shift happening in the atmosphere, a heavy, undeniable turning of the page that involves someone very close to your heart. In fact, it might even be about you. Something massive is approaching, not in a year, not in a month, but in the coming hours. Tonight, before the stars fade into the morning light, a life is going to change forever. This isn't just a story. This is a revelation about a reality that is unfolding right now, behind closed doors, where your eyes cannot see, but where the Spirit sees everything. There is someone connected to you, someone whose heartbeat matters deeply to you, who is currently walking through the final hours of life as they know it. They don't realize it yet. To them, today feels like any other ordinary day. They are moving through their routine, completely unaware that the ground beneath them is about to shift. Picture them for a moment. They might be sitting in their kitchen right now, stirring sugar into their coffee, watching the steam rise in the sunlight. They might be checking their phone, laughing at a message, or humming a song that has been stuck in their head all morning. The world around them feels safe. It feels familiar. The clock on the wall is ticking softly, marking the seconds, but they don't hear the warning in the rhythm. They are thinking about small, everyday things. Maybe a bill they need to pay, a friend they want to call, or a trip they have been dreaming about taking next summer. They are planning for a future that they believe is guaranteed. But they do not know that a plot has been set in motion against them. In just a few short hours, everything they thought was solid is going to unravel. This is not happening because of bad luck or a random twist of fate. It is happening because of a choice made in secret by people they trust. This is the part that is hard to hear, but you must hear it. The danger isn't coming from a stranger in a dark alley. It isn't coming from an enemy they know to look out for. It is coming from inside their circle. It is coming from a hand that they have held. It is coming from a voice that has whispered, "I love you." It is coming from someone who shares their table, eats their food, and smiles in their face. The betrayal is silent, and that is what makes it so deadly. I am telling you this not to fill your heart with fear, but to wake up your spirit. We often walk through life thinking that everyone who smiles at us is our friend, but the Spirit reveals what is hidden in the dark. Right now, there is a plan being woven together by shadows. Imagine a small, quiet house at the end of a street. The grass is a little overgrown, but the flowers by the door are blooming. Inside there is peace, or at least the illusion of peace. The person we are talking about is sitting there, perhaps writing a list of groceries or dreams in a notebook. They feel loved. They feel secure. They believe that the people around them have their best interests at heart. But just out of their sight, a countdown has begun. 3 hours. That is all that stands between their current peace and a total shattering of their reality. And the ones plotting this? They are not far away. They might be in the next room. They might be on the phone with them right now, speaking sweet words while holding a dagger behind their back. Why would someone do this? What drives a person to betray their own family, their own blood, or their closest friend? It isn't always hate. Sometimes it is a quiet, burning envy that has been growing for years. Sometimes it is greed, a desire for a small inheritance, a piece of land, or even just the attention that this person gets. Sometimes it is simply because this person's light shines too brightly, and the darkness in others cannot stand it. The betrayers have convinced themselves that they are justified. They have rehearsed their lies. They have practiced their fake tears. They are ready to play the role of the grieving friend or the shocked relative when the tragedy hits. They think they have planned for everything. They think they are in control of the narrative. But there is one thing they forgot. They forgot that there is a God who sees what happens in the secret place. They forgot that while they were plotting in the dark, the light of the world was watching them. They think this story ends with destruction, but I am here to tell you that the pen is not in their hands. The final chapter has not been written by them. If you are feeling a tug in your chest right now, if you feel like this message is resonating with your spirit, I need you to acknowledge it. Please, take a second to type "I am listening" or "God protects" in the comments. Let this be a signal that you are awake, that you are watching, and that you are standing in agreement for protection over this innocent soul. Your engagement puts a spiritual stamp on this moment. The person in this story is extraordinary in their ordinary way. They are the one who always shows up for others. They are the father who stays up late to help with homework, despite his exhaustion. They are the grandmother whose hands are slow but who knits love into every scarf she makes. They are the friend who listens when the world is too loud. They have lived with an open heart, and sadly, that open heart is exactly what the enemy is using as a door. The betrayers have taken advantage of their kindness. They have viewed their mercy as weakness. They have taken their generosity and used it to fund their own wicked plans. But hear me clearly, God is about to interrupt the broadcast. The enemy thinks they are operating in a blind spot, but there are no blind spots in heaven. The very moment they prepared to strike was the moment God prepared to move. While they are whispering their schemes, believing they have won, a divine rescue operation is already underway. You need to understand the gravity of this. We are talking about a betrayal that cuts deep, the kind that usually destroys a person. But this story is going to be different. This story is not going to end in a funeral, it is going to end in a testimony. But before the victory comes, the truth must be revealed. And the truth is about to come out in a way that will shake the foundation of that house. The mask is about to slip. My beloved child, the mask is about to slip because truth has a way of rising, no matter how deep you bury it. The person we are speaking of, this innocent soul who is currently sitting in their home believing they are safe, is about to experience a revelation that will shatter their heart but save their life. You see, the enemy's greatest weapon is not power, it is secrecy. The enemy thrives when they can operate in the shadows, when they can smile in your face while holding a knife behind your back. But God is the revealer of secrets. He is the light that shines in the dark places, and right now He is shining a spotlight on a hidden plot. Hat was meant to remain buried forever. Let's look closer at the situation unfolding in that quiet house. The betrayers are confident. They are arrogant. They have rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in their heads. They have justified their actions, telling themselves that they deserve what they are about to take. They have convinced themselves that this person, this kind, generous soul, owes them something. Maybe they feel entitled to money, to status, or to a legacy they didn't earn. They look at the person's kindness and see it as weakness. They look at their trust and see it as an open door to rob them blind. They are sitting there right now, perhaps sharing a meal. Picture the scene: a plate is passed, a cup is poured, a joke is shared. Laughter fills the room, but it is hollow laughter. The betrayer's eyes don't match their smile. There is a coldness there, a calculation. They are watching the clock, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It might be a document they want signed, a deceptive agreement disguised as a favor. It might be a poisonous lie they are about to whisper, a rumor designed to destroy this person's reputation and isolate them from everyone who loves them. Or, darker still, it might be a physical trap, a setup meant to cause harm under the guise of an accident. But here is where the story shifts. Here is where the plot twists in a way they never saw coming. While they were busy planning the destruction of this innocent soul, they forgot to look up. They forgot that this person is covered by a covenant they cannot break. They forgot that there are prayers covering this person, prayers whispered by a grandmother years ago, prayers spoken by you in the quiet of the night, prayers that hang in the atmosphere like a shield of fire. The betrayers think they are the authors of this story, but they are about to find out they are merely correct. RS in a divine testimony. Just as the moment of betrayal approaches, just as the trap is set to spring, God is going to move. And he is going to move in a way that is so simple, yet so powerful, it will leave the enemy confused and scrambling. Imagine this. The betrayer reaches into their pocket, ready to pull out the deception. The atmosphere in the room is tense, though only the guilty one feels it. The innocent soul reaches for their cup, or picks up the pen to sign the paper, or steps toward the door where the trap is waiting. But suddenly there is a sound, a sharp, unexpected sound that cuts through the silence. It is a knock at the door. It is not a scheduled visitor. It is not a delivery. It is a neighbor who rarely comes over, a neighbor who usually keeps to themselves. But today, right at this critical second, they felt a strange pull. They felt an unexplained urge to check in. They didn't know why. They probably told themselves it was silly, but they couldn't shake the feeling. So they walked across the street, stepped onto the porch and knocked. That knock is not just a neighbor. That knock is a divine interruption. That knock is the hand of God stopping the clock. Inside the house the rhythm is broken. The betrayer freezes, their heart skips a beat, the moment is lost. The innocent person puts down the pen, or lowers the cup, or turns away from the danger to answer the door. "I was just passing by," the neighbor says, "and I just had this feeling I should see how you're doing." That simple sentence changes everything. It brings light into a room that was filling with darkness. It brings a witness into a situation that required secrecy. The betrayer panics. They try to hide their frustration, they try to force a smile, but the energy has shifted. The plan begins to crumble. The neighbor notices something, maybe the betrayer's shaking hand, maybe the strange tension in the air, maybe the pale face of the innocent person who is starting to feel that something isn't right. This is how God works. He uses the ordinary to disrupt the demonic. He uses a random phone call, a forgotten errand, a sudden visitor to derail plans that have been in the works for months. If you believe that God can interrupt the enemy's plan for your loved one, I want you to declare it right now. Type "God breaks the trap" in the comments. Let your faith be the sound that echoes in the spirit realm, joining with that knock on the door. The betrayer is now scrambling. They are trying to salvage the situation, trying to find a new angle, but the confusion has set in. God has sent a spirit of confusion into their camp. They are starting to make mistakes. They are stuttering. Their story isn't adding up. The innocent person who was so blind just moments ago is starting to see. A question forms in their mind. Why is this person acting so strange? Why did they want me to sign this so quickly? Why are they sweating? The blindfold is falling off. The trust is beginning to fracture, not because of hate, but because of the truth. And this is painful. It hurts to realize that the person you love, the person you invited into your sanctuary, is the one holding the match to burn it down. It hurts to see the face of an enemy on someone you called a friend. But this pain is necessary. This pain is the sting of a life-saving surgery. God is cutting away the cancer before it can kill. He is revealing the wolf in sheep's clothing before the bite is fatal. You need to understand that this betrayal did not start today. It started with small compromises. It started with unchecked jealousy. It started when the betrayer stopped looking at this person with love and started looking at them with envy. They wanted the light this person carries, but instead of asking God for their own, they decided to steal it. But light cannot be stolen. Anointing cannot be robbed. Destiny cannot be hijacked. The betrayer is about to learn a hard lesson. You cannot touch God's anointed and remain unharmed. The very trap they set is about to snap back on their own fingers. The very pit they dug is the one they are about to stumble into. The trap has snapped, but not on the intended victim. The neighbor's knock was the first domino to fall, and now the entire wicked plot is collapsing in real time. Inside that house, the atmosphere has shifted from danger to exposure. The betrayer is standing there, heart racing, trying to glue the pieces of their broken plan back together, but it is too late. The confusion God sent has taken root. Their words are stumbling over each other. Their excuses are sounding thin and desperate. The innocent person, the one who was supposed to be a victim by now, is sitting up straighter. The fog is lifting from their mind. They are looking at the person they trusted, and for the first time they are seeing the stranger underneath the mask. It is a painful realization. It feels like a punch to the gut to realize that the danger was sitting at your own table. But as the pain hits, so does the gratitude. They realize they are still here. They realize the pen didn't hit the paper. They realize the poison didn't touch their lips. They realize that somehow they were snatched out of the fire just before it consumed them. This is the moment where the story turns from a tragedy into a testimony. The betrayer, realizing they have lost control, tries to retreat. They try to play the victim, gaslighting the situation, claiming they were only trying to help. But the light of truth is too bright now. The shadows have nowhere left to hide. The innocent person stands up, not weak, not defeated, but empowered by a sudden urge of divine strength. They point to the door, and just like that, the darkness has to leave. But this message isn't just about them. It is about you. I want you to pause and feel the weight of this truth because it applies to your life right now. How many times have you been in a situation where you thought it was the end? How many times have you trusted the wrong person, signed the wrong deal, or walked down the wrong path, only to have God intervene at the last possible second? Maybe you are feeling the sting of betrayal right now. Maybe you are looking at the wreckage of a relationship you thought would last forever, or a job you poured your soul into that let you go without a second thought. You are standing there holding the broken pieces, wondering why God allowed it to happen. You are asking, if God is with me, why did I get hurt? Why did they turn on me? Here is the answer that will heal your heart. God didn't allow the betrayal to destroy you. He allowed the exposure to save you. What you are calling a loss is actually a rescue. The people who walked away were not your destiny partners. They were anchors trying to hold you back. The door that slammed in your face wasn't a rejection. It was protection from a room you weren't meant to enter. Think about the story of a woman named Elena. She isn't famous, but her story is written in the stars. She gave everything to her family business. She worked late nights, missed holidays, and carried the weight of everyone else's problems on her shoulders. She trusted her partners implicitly because they were blood. But while she was building, they were stealing. While she was planning for the future, they were plotting to push her out. When the truth finally came out, Elena was devastated. She lost the business. She lost her savings. She lost the people she thought were her tribe. She sat on the floor of her thank you living room and cried out to God, asking why he had abandoned her. It felt like the end. It looked like defeat. But God was just clearing the construction site. Because the wrong people were removed, Elena was forced to start over. And in that starting over, she found a strength she didn't know she had. She started a new venture. Something small, something that was fully hers. Without the dead weight of the betrayers, she flew. Within 2 years, she had built something 10 times bigger than what was stolen. She realized that the betrayal broke the chains that were keeping her small. God specializes in this kind of turnaround. He is the master of the plot twist. He takes the very thing the enemy sent to kill you and uses it to build you. He takes the stones they threw at you and uses them to build a foundation for your palace. If you believe that God is turning your pain into power right now, I need you to declare it. Type "God is rewriting my story" in the comments. Let that be your prophecy today. The enemy thought that by breaking your trust he could break your spirit. He thought that by isolating you he could defeat you. But he forgot that you are never truly alone. When people walk out, God steps in closer. When resources dry up, heaven opens a new well. The person in our story at the beginning, the one who was saved by the knock at the door, is now safe. The police have been called, the truth is out, and the betrayers are facing the consequences of their greed. But more importantly, the innocent person is experiencing a peace they haven't felt in years. The anxiety that had been plaguing them, the bad feeling they couldn't explain, is gone. They are free, and that freedom is coming for you too. You are about to experience a liberation from people who have been secretly draining you. You are about to see a separation take place in your life. Do not fight. Do not try to hold on to people who are trying to leave. Let them go. Their departure is your promotion. God is saying to you today, I saw the conversation you didn't hear. I saw the text message you didn't read. I saw the heart that turned cold toward you. And because he saw it, he is moving you. He is repositioning you. He is taking you from a table where you were tolerated to a table where you will be celebrated. The pain you feel right now is simply the growing pain of elevation. You are shedding a skin that no longer fits. You are waking up from a dream that was actually a nightmare. The betrayal was the alarm clock. It was loud, it was jarring, and it wasn't pleasant, but it woke you up. And now that you are awake, you can finally walk into the purpose that has been waiting for you. Your story is not a tragedy. It is a thriller where the hero wins in the end. It is a romance where the soul of the universe pursues you and claims you as his own. The betrayers in your life are just footnotes in your history book. They don't get a chapter, they barely get a sentence. They were just the catalyst that pushed you into your destiny. My beloved child, the storm has passed, and the silence that follows is not empty, it is filled with a peace that surpasses all understanding. The innocent person in our story is safe. The police have come and gone, the neighbors have returned to their homes, and the betrayers have been removed from the sanctuary they tried to destroy. But the real story isn't about the chaos that just ended. It is about the new life that is just beginning. As the sun sets on what was supposed to be their last day, this person sits by the window again. The same window where they sat unaware just a few hours ago. But now their eyes are open. They see the world differently. They see the leaves dancing in the wind and realize that every breath is a gift. They look at the empty chair where the betrayer used to sit, and they don't feel loss anymore. They feel space. Space for new blessings, space for true friends, and space for a destiny that is no longer being suffocated by someone else's jealousy. This is the beautiful mystery of how God works. He doesn't just save us from the fire, he brings us out without the smell of smoke on our clothes. He doesn't just stop the enemy, he uses the enemy's own trap to launch us into our purpose. Think about the story of a young man named Daniel. He isn't famous to the world, but heaven knows his name. He grew up with a heart full of dreams and a best friend he trusted like a brother. They planned to build a future together, a business that would change their family's lives. Daniel poured every cent he had into that dream. He worked double shifts, skipped meals, and sacrificed his youth. But his friend, driven by hidden greed, took the money and vanished. He left Daniel with nothing but a mountain of debt and a broken spirit. For a long time, Daniel thought his life was over. He felt foolish for trusting. He felt abandoned by God. But what Daniel couldn't see was that God had allowed that door to close because it was leading to a cliff. Because he lost that money, Daniel was forced to take a humble job at a community center. It felt like a step backward. It felt like failure. But it was there, in that humble place, that he met a mentor who saw a spark in him that his friend never saw. That mentor guided him, opened doors he couldn't open himself, and 5 years later, Daniel wasn't just running a business, he was leading a movement that helped thousands of people. The betrayal was painful, yes, but it was the transportation system to his destiny. Or think about Maria, a mother who poured her soul into her family, only to be rejected by the very child she sacrificed everything for. When her son turned his back on her, mocking her love and cutting her off, she felt like her heart had stopped beating. She sat in the darkness of her home, wondering what she had done wrong. But in that season of isolation, God whispered a new purpose into her ear. He turned her pain into a ministry. She started reaching out to other lonely mothers, and soon she had built a community of women who became closer than blood. She found a joy she had never known, a joy that wasn't dependent on anyone else's validation. This is the promise I have for you today. You might be standing in the middle of a mess right now. You might be looking at the scattered pieces of your trust, wondering how you will ever put them back together. You might be feeling the sting of a fresh betrayal or the ache of an old wound that never quite healed. But I am here to tell you that your story is not finished. The betrayal was not the period at the end of your sentence, it was just a comma. There is a pause, yes. There is a breath, yes. But the sentence continues. God is writing a chapter for you that is so much brighter than the one you just survived. The people who left you, they were making room for the people who will cherish you. The opportunities that were stolen, they were clearing the ground for blessings that no one can take away. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself standing at a crossroads. Behind you is a dark, winding road filled with the shadows of everyone who hurt you, every lie that was told, and every tear you cried in secret. That road is the past. It is finished. You don't have to walk it ever again. Now, look forward. In front of you is a path bathed in golden light. It is wide, it is open, and it is paved with promise. On this path, you are not a victim, you are a victor. On this path, you are not defined by who left you, you are defi. Ned by who kept you. God is standing on that path, reaching out his hand, waiting for you to take the first step. He is saying, come, I have new things to show you. I have new joy to give you. I have a purpose for you that is untouched by human hands. The betrayers thought they could stop your clock, but they only reset it to God's time. They thought they could bury you, but they didn't know you were a seed. So shake off the heavy dust of yesterday, wash your face and stand up tall. The nightmare is over. The morning has broken. You are safe, you are loved, and you are ready. If you are ready to walk down this new path, if you are ready to leave the pain behind and step into your power, I invite you to make one final declaration. Type I am walking into my new chapter, or simply victory is mine in the comments below. Let this be the seal on your spirit today. Let the enemy know that he missed his target and that you are stronger than ever. Go in peace, knowing that the God who sees the secret plots is also the God who prepares the public table of blessing in the presence of your enemies. You have won.